I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right.
If you're looking for a great place to buy your toys, Cokiss has a great range of figures, including your favorite ones from Hiya toys like Godzilla, King Ghidorah, the female Muto. Get 6% off in all your purchases with my discount code. Use RubiCokiss to get all your favorite figures much cheaper than anywhere else with fast shipping. Link in the description down below. This also means you don't have to wait for those long releases from the US. You can get everything much faster and exactly the same time that Hiya Toys releases their figures from their end. So what are you waiting for? Use the link in the description, apply the code to get everything much cheaper. It's highly recommended. Thank you for watching the video. We have a lot to talk about today. WonderFest 2024 is happening and there is currently a lot of reveals for Hiya Toys and other companies, but let's take a look at Shimo right now. So currently there has been a lot of confusion happening around the internet. I'm not going to name this certain page, but this certain page is saying that there's possibly upgrades with Shimu and Godzilla Evolved. That's why they took extremely long, and possibly we saw them get delayed because they've been getting a lot of upgrades with articulation, the paint job. Now, I'm just going to assume based on what I see right here that that's totally false. Now, before I give you guys my explanation, let me tell you why they think this is happening. So at the display, we see two different versions for most of the figures. We see something that looks like a prototype, and then we see something that looks like a painted version. Or it could be the opposite way around, the prototype and then the newly upgraded version. While they pointed out that Godzilla Evolved and Shimu have significantly gotten upgrades and new cuts around the articulation segments, well, I'm here to prove this wrong. Let's take a look at Shimu. If you look at Shimu, let's look at the arms segments. Pay close attention to the cuts around the articulation. I counted the exact same amount of articulation cuts on the prototype image and then on the final image for release. So what I'm assuming is happening here is we're getting a demonstration of the prototype version and then the fully painted version. I don't think we're looking at two completely different figures. I don't think we're looking at the old version against the newer version with upgrades. It's just silly. If you analyze the videos, the images, it doesn't take a few minutes to realize it's totally not an upgrade. Now, I understand a lot of people are going to assume this is happening because of how long they've been taking to release certain figures. But of course, nothing has been officially confirmed by Hiya or anybody that they have a source that's 100% trustworthy that those are indeed upgrades. For the moment, that's just false. There's no confirmation of any of that happening. Unfortunately, yes, I think it would have been amazing if that's what we were seeing, but unfortunately, for the time being, that's just not the case. And now, something that I am very impressed and finally confirms what a lot of people have been wanting to see is how massive Shimo really is, standing up on two legs against Godzilla Evolved. Godzilla Evolved is right next to Shimo, and you can definitely see how massive Shimo really is. Including with Kong, you really do get a good comparison of how she really will stack up with both of them. You can definitely tell that Godzilla perfectly matches with Shimu, both hunched over. Now, the images that you do see of the comparisons have been upgraded by me. I specifically went into a special program. I increased the image quality so you guys can definitely see that it's the same exact articulation. Now, if you look at the legs, the ankle area around the feet, you can see it's the exact same articulation. Now, it may be hard, obviously, because you're looking at a prototype version and then the painted version. Because of the paint, it's going to look almost different, but if you pay close attention, it's unfortunately the same figure. Now let's talk about Godzilla Evolved. If you look at the prototype figure, you can see a lot of articulation, and especially around the tail. I believe it has 18 points or 17 points of articulation. That's very impressive, and you can definitely analyze that this figure is going to have a lot of articulation that's significantly better compared to the 2019 and even the upgraded version. Now remember, this is indeed a totally new model, a totally new design. They're not using the existing version. It's a very impressive figure just by looking at it. The amount of articulation around the neck area, the bottom portion, the tail specifically, I think it's crazy. When I saw this figure, I honestly almost thought it was the Monster Arts because of how much articulation it has. It just seems to be flowing a lot smoother, and that's exactly what I wanted to see. Now, the arms have been completely reworked. We're definitely going to see a lot better articulation, and this figure just seems to be, poseable compared to the movie. I think initially I was very worried because those images for the promo just didn't do this figure any justice. We didn't see much of a dynamic articulation or poses, and it just made a lot of people not feel this figure, especially the paint job. But throughout, the months we've seen this figure get displayed and what it really is capable of doing, and just seeing this figure in different poses, you really start to understand that this figure really is going to mimic those movements that we saw in the movie for Godzilla, just hunched over, running, very poseable. And for the time being, I just cannot complain. So far, Shimu and Godzilla Evolved seem to be perfectly matching together. The prototype and the final product look incredible, and I just cannot wait. Honestly, Hiya Toys has been really doing a fantastic job. Now, with all of this, we do get a confirmation of a brand new figure within this line. We actually do get to see the prototype in a very interesting way that we haven't really seen. Up until today, we've seen that all the prototypes have a very resin-like gray color, and this one is like a white type of tone, kind of translucent. The figure that I'm talking about is Mecha King Ghidorah. So yes, this is officially happening. We're getting the mechanized version of the original, which is very awesome, and both of them look extremely huge, especially the original, like the wings and just the height. The amount of articulation looks very impressive just by looking at the images, the video that we got. With that being said, it seems like they are staying faithful to the height and all that. When you compare both of them, you see them right next to each other. There's definitely a height difference. Mecha King Ghidorah appears to be the taller one. Obviously, the wings are going to be different because they're based on totally different designs, and obviously the tail and all that, but very impressive overall. Next up, we have Kong. Now, this Kong 2024 is one that a lot of people have been also waiting for. Finally, we have the Beast Club Kong. It confirms it's finally happening. They have a fully painted version, which I can only assume it's going to get announced extremely soon. Now, there's a good thing that this is happening for everybody that was waiting for this specific version. Now, this version might be more worth it than the first one that was announced. Now, if you look at the accessories, because of the Beast Club, it appears like it will have more accessories combined with this figure compared to the original. Okay, I take that back. I was looking at a comparison, and it appears that both of them have the exact amount of accessories. The only biggest difference obviously has to be the probably not confirmed the extra arm that you're going to get with the Beast Club. Now, I'm assuming this is going to be a fantastic, combination with the original. You're going to be able to swap even more pieces if you have both versions. At this specific moment, it appears like both of them do have the exact same amount of accessories, and that's about it. Just in case anybody was wondering about that, of course, we have to wait for the official confirmation and release. This is just me analyzing what we have in front of us right now. Now, we're going to move on to my thoughts. I think this has been a very wonderful reveal, waking up to a lot of news. Obviously, this happened yesterday, but yesterday I was extremely tired. Obviously, I didn't feel like getting up and sounding extremely tired and not having the energy and the excitement, but I did see the news yesterday. And for anybody that wonders why I record extremely late at night around 4 or 5, That's because during the daytime, it's impossible to record. I live in a very extremely busy area. It's actually a road where motorcycles, cars, buses, you see everything, people yelling, people selling stuff. It is almost impossible for me to record anything without you guys hearing, extremely annoying background sounds, and I don't want that to happen. So what I do is, I try staying up as much as I can, record things. That's why I talk very calm, slow, because I do get tired during that time. So hopefully you guys do understand those reasons. Now let's move on to my thoughts. Honestly, fantastic job. I wasn't expecting much reveals, like I've said on the other video before this one. I wouldn't be surprised if Hiya didn't reveal anything, but we did indeed get to see a brand new figure and a few prototypes, a few comparisons. What I do like about Hiya is the fact that they have the dioramas set up. I think they look really awesome. It would be interesting to see if someday in the near future they start to release, cities or accessories like that, because they've been killing it. Recently, they upgraded to the desert. Background looks fantastic. The whole crystals, the city, the buildings, these small cars, really nice. We got to see Mecha Godzilla 2. Unfortunately, it was not painted. This is still the prototype. It's still very early to tell if they do have like a painted version around there. They're still setting up. You can tell because of the background. This happened yesterday. I'm sure we're going to see more eventually come out today and tomorrow. We got to see Godzilla 2000, Godzilla GMK, pretty much all of the figures that we've come to expect. That also includes Burning Godzilla, the exclusive version for WonderFest 2024. Now, you know my thoughts about that. I don't like that whole idea, but anyways, I did enjoy what they showcased. Took me by surprise to see the Mecha King Ghidorah, how massive it is, how massive Godzilla 2000 really is. And Shimu. This comparison has been on my list for such a long time. The fact that we saw Shimu standing up like that without no stands, it is extremely impressive. The fact that it's not falling off or anything. Now, I would have liked to have seen the painted version.